This is Robert Stellick with Blue Planet Surf and the Zen Waterman blog. Today we're going to talk about technique post number 6, which is about turning the board. And we're almost ready to go into the surf, but first you want to learn all the basics of flat water paddling before you even attempt to try to surf some waves. We talked about stacking the shoulder and getting a forward stroke, pulling the paddle straight back. To turn, you want to do the opposite. You want to do the turning stroke, steering stroke, which is out to the side and like as far away from your body as possible, actually. So in this case, you can hold the paddle diagonally sideways. You can hold the hand a little bit higher on the blade and get the angle of the paddle out to the side. So instead of pulling it straight back, you angle the blade out, stick it in as far forward on the nose as you can, and pull it out to the side. And this motion right up here is going to really make your nose turn. So push the board over and then make a big circle, and then this motion here in the back too, pulling the paddle in the back towards your tail will also make the board turn well. But the most efficient is up here, so you can actually just turn by just doing this. And then that brings us to the crossbow turn. So I mean, one way of turning is just to switch sides and then do the same thing on the opposite side. So you start by the tail, pull the paddle out away from the tail, and then up to the nose and towards the nose. And then so this is the backward stroke. Both of these will make the board turn this way to my right. So paddling out this way and backwards on this side. Now the crossbow turn, instead of switching sides with your hands on this side, you can switch by just twisting your body all the way over. Get the paddle kind of a little bit away from your nose, and if you're moving forward, you can just stick the paddle in by your nose and kind of angle it out a little bit. That'll make your board pull that way. You can also stick it over a little bit more and pull it towards the paddle, towards the nose of the board. Now you want to keep the paddle pretty far forward during the crossbow turn. I've seen people try to do it back here and then hold the blade this way, and that can make you fall off, especially if you're moving forward. Stick the paddle in like that, it'll throw you back. So what you want to do is keep the blade angled pretty much straight forward and stick it in a little bit away from the board, pull it towards the nose. Once you get to the nose, you can lift the paddle over the nose and keep doing the same thing on the opposite side. And with a couple of these steering strokes, you can turn the board without adding any without paddling backwards at all, without slowing down your momentum very much. And I'm going to show this in the water, but try practice this on land too. So what you do, instead of just reaching forward, you reach all the way past the nose, stick the paddle in, angled just a little bit out, but pretty much straight forward, pull it towards the nose, lift it over the nose, and finish that stroke on the other side of the nose. Okay, so this is called the crossbow turn, and make you turn very fast without losing your momentum. Now probably the quickest way to turn the board is a kick turn, where you move your weight back to the tail of the board, and then you can do that steering stroke, and you can actually bring your paddle all the way around the back of your tail and pretty much spin your board in one long stroke. You can spin the board around, and I'm going to show that one in the water as well. All right. Let's talk about the basics of turning the board. So the regular stroke is just the regular steering stroke. Get the paddle in right by your nose and pull it out away from the nose. And if you do that, your board's going to quickly turn, and you can bring it all the way back towards your tail. So if you do that full half circle stroke, that'll turn your board very efficiently. And then you can do also the opposite on the other side. Pull the paddle out away from your tail, and then bring it all the way to your nose and push it kind of towards the nose. This is like the way to turn in one spot. Just paddle backwards on one side or forward on the opposite side. And that way you can turn without moving forward very much. And with just a few strokes, you should be able to turn all the way around. Okay, so the crossbow turn is good to do like when you're racing or you want to keep your speed up. If you have some good forward momentum, you can use that to steer your nose just by sticking the paddle in. And then you can also pull it towards your nose, switch it to the other side, and finish that steering stroke on the opposite side. So it's basically starting the stroke, and then turning yourself all the way around like that. And this is good because you don't have to paddle backwards. You don't lose a lot of momentum. So the other direction, it's good to use it when you're moving forward. If you have some speed, you can easily use that speed to guide your nose over. Do a steering stroke. Do that again. All right. So this is the basic crossbow turn. And then the fastest way to turn is to move your weight back and do a kick turn. So to do that, you get into the surfing stance, get your foot further back towards the tail, and then you can bring your paddle all the way around. And that way, you can quickly pivot the board off the tail and then move forward again to paddle forward. And I guess I'll do a few more without the microphone.